If you've ever tried to pick webinar software, you know the problem isn't finding options. It's that every single one claims to do everything. Live events, evergreen replays, lead capture, analytics, all of it. So which one's actually telling the truth? I tested 4 platforms myself, went through their pricing pages, and read through the review threads on each one to see what actually holds up once people have used it for a while. Here's what I found. Before ranking anything, here's the framework I use to figure out which platform actually fits your situation. Recording reliability, whether it holds up on bad connections. Compliance and hosting, especially if you're in the EU. Ease of use versus how much you can actually customize. Scale and capacity. And pricing model, because flat rate and per credit are very different bets. Riverside is my top pick, and it's built differently from the rest of this list. It handles pre-recorded webinar content on autoplay, so you're not stuck hosting live every time. It records each participant on a separate local track. And it folds editing, captions, and publishing into the same place, so you're not paying for 4 tools to do one job. Right, let's just search it. Riverside for webinars. And there we go. First result, straight through to the page. Hit Get Started and you're in. Here's the Schedule tab inside Riverside Studio. Hit New in the top right, and it first asks for your title. This is what your audience sees on the sign-up form. Pick your date and time. Then add details for any remote guests or co-hosts joining you. Add a description. And here's what stands out. You can upload pre-recorded content right into the event so it plays automatically when the scheduled time hits. Riverside wins this for me on 2 things. That local recording tech means a shaky connection. On one guest's end doesn't wreck the whole session. Everyone's track stays clean. And it replaces the pile of separate tools you'd otherwise be juggling for editing and publishing, all in one place. ClickMeeting runs $37 a month for live, $48 for automated, and enterprise is a sales call. Breakout rooms scale to 800 attendees. You can promote anyone straight from attendee to presenter mid-session. And it's got ticket sales built in through Stripe and PayPal, so you can actually charge for entry without bolting on another tool. You're in the live webinar room looking at the attendee list. Click on a name, John's in this case, and a panel opens with his email and location, plus a set of toggles underneath. The first option makes him a presenter. He'll get a browser prompt for mic and camera access, and once he accepts, he can go live immediately with full control over what's on screen. Click it again and he's back to a regular attendee, no harm done. ClickMeeting's interface gets called cluttered, small icons, unclear options, which is a real problem when you're trying to move fast mid-webinar. And reviewers keep asking for deeper customization on certificates and branding assets that just isn't there yet. Solid tool, but you'll bump into its ceiling. WebinarGeek starts at $49 a month for basic, $69 for premium, $349 for enterprise, all billed annually. That pricing is flat rate, not per credit, so it doesn't creep up as you use it more. The green room is a genuinely different idea. A branded space to prep before attendees see you live. And it covers live, automated, hybrid, and on-demand formats in one dashboard. You're on the overview page, and there's a bright blue Create Webinar button sitting on the right. Click it and you're into the wizard, which is really the fastest way to understand how this tool thinks. 3 formats show up. Live, where you're actually presenting on camera and mic in real time. Automated, which takes a pre-recorded video or a past live webinar you've already recorded and runs it on its own. Reviewers say WebinarGeek's first-time setup feels welcoming, clear menus, good onboarding. But that same ease doesn't hold for everything. Some advanced settings and third-party integrations are genuinely hard to find without more guidance than the product gives you. BigMarker doesn't publish pricing. You're getting on a sales call for that. What you do get is full white labeling under your own domain, browser-based attendance with no download required, and scale that's actually been proven. PMI ran a 35,000 attendee event on this thing. That's a different league than anything else on this list. You're looking at the landing page, and there's a row of 3 buttons, starting with Edit Page. Click it and you get live editing tools right on the page, the banner image up top, the logo, and here the button color gets switched to a bright magenta pink. You can also get into the About section and the agenda topics. It's worth knowing going in, though, this editor is fairly limited. Brief tools, not a deep design system. BigMarker's admin side gets called complicated, dated even, just from the sheer number of settings to wade through. And yet reviewers still rate it 4 and 5 stars overall. The scene builder specifically gets praised as easy to produce something polished with. It's a steep front door with a good room behind it. All 4 of these get credit for the same thing, pulling recording, hosting, and analytics out of 5 separate subscriptions and into one. But Riverside's the one that also solves what happens after the webinar ends, editing and publishing built right in. No extra tool needed. That's the criterion it wins outright. Let me know in the comments which one of these fits what you're actually trying to do. If this saved you some research time, like the video and subscribe, I'm covering more of this stuff soon.